What's up, guys? It is Brian here. Today, going to be predicting the Sunday divisional matchup between the Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Kansas City Chiefs. So let's get this show on the road. First of all, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers. So tail of the tape, the Dallas Cowboys did beat them earlier in the season, but Aaron Rodgers was just not Aaron Rodgers yet, and they were struggling mightily in that game. So I'll just leave it like that. And Dak Prescott ended up going to Lambeau Field and beating Aaron Rodgers, so that was pretty impressive. But the Green Bay Packers, they had a pretty dominant win against the New York Giants. They struggled at first, but for whatever reason, Eli Manning decided to be Eli Manning in the regular season and just stink up the joint pretty much. And Odell Beckham, I don't know where he was. I didn't want to use the boat party thing. I'm not going to use that as an excuse for him doing bad, but he just didn't show up in that game against the Packers. Defensively, they showed up big time against Eli Manning and the stale offense that the Giants are this season, and that sums up their whole season. Pretty good on defense, very good on defense I should say, but very stale on offense, and didn't work out for the Giants. I thought they were going to win this game, but I was wrong, so I am an idiot for going with the Giants, but who cares? The Green Bay Packers are playing the Dallas Cowboys this weekend. Let's get to it. So predictions. Who am I going to go with? This is a tough one because Aaron Rodgers, man, he's just a beast. He threw a Hail Mary to Randall Cobb. That was a great play. Jordy Nelson, I'm not sure he's playing. He got hurt as of this video, and it's been pretty compelling. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel, Elliott, they had their bye week, so hopefully they are rested up for this matchup. But if I had to go with my gut, I'm going to be going with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Cowboys with another win. I think the Dallas Cowboys can do some work. I think Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott is going to do a lot of work. The offensive line for the Cowboys is just amazing. I wish the 49ers can have an offensive line like the Cowboys, and I think defensively they can stop Aaron Rodgers enough. They're not the best defense, but they were in the top 5 in scoring defense, so that's pretty impressive on their part with a not as much talent defense as you think a defense would be, but I think they can do just enough to stop Aaron Rodgers in this matchup, and I think Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott are going to expose the Packers defense big time. I mean, the Giants, they did an awful job at doing that. Eli Manning was not that good. Odell Beckham was not that good. Even Shepard did kind of show up in that game, and Victor Cruz had some nice catches, but the Giants offense, that's not really that good, and I think overall the Dallas Cowboys can stop Green Bay in this matchup. So really, I'm going to be leaning on Prescott and Elliott to be doing all the work, and I think the defense can do just enough to stop Aaron Rodgers. That's my factors of them winning this game, and plus they have an offensive line that can just destroy that defensive line of the Packers, and I'll just leave it like that. So final score for me would be the Cowboys about 29, Green Bay Packers 21. I think that's a pretty accurate score for me. I hope I'm right, but if I'm not right, then whatever. So I'm going to be going with the Dallas Cowboys 29-21, and there you have it. Now, Kansas City Chiefs and Pittsburgh Steelers, this is a really interesting one. I think this is the most interesting matchup out of all of these matchups, except Seattle Atlanta as well. That's a pretty good matchup as well. But for me, Kansas City, they have a really good defense, but offensively they can be okay, but they're not really the best offense. I feel like it's a little bit better version of the New York Giants, but overall I think it's pretty stale as well. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they had a really good showing against the Miami Dolphins. They dominated Matt Moore defensively, surprisingly, which I did predict correctly last week when I had to predict the Dolphins and Steelers game. And Le'Veon Bell, his first playoff game, man, he just dominated that game. Antonio Brown dominated early in the game, and after that it was end of story. Just leave it like that, and they just dominated all 3 phases of football, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Surprisingly for the Steelers, they don't really dominate defensively, but they actually did against Matt Moore and the Miami Dolphins. And I got to give Matt Moore some credit for taking that shot in the jaw by Dupree, but coming back the next play, so props to him for doing that. I wanted Miami to win that game, kinda, but I just knew Pittsburgh was the better team, in my opinion, and I was right on that part. So who am I going to go with? The number 1 ranked offense or a really good Kansas City Chiefs defense? To me, I might go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs going to the AFC Championship game for the first time since like the mid-90s. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I think defensively they can do enough work to stop Big Ben, but the problem is Kansas City, they've had problems with the Steelers when the Steelers are healthy. They've always been dominated by the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively, so the last time they met up, it was pretty decisive on Sunday Night Football. The Steelers destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs 43-14, but I think it's going to be a different story. I'm going to go with the mini upset, I guess you can say, even though Kansas City is the number 2 seed in the AFC, but I think Kansas City is going to win this game and move on to the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. I think so. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I feel that Kansas City can undo the wrong that they did early in the season and improve upon it and do some work, and I think Alex Smith is going to be a little bit clutch when he needs to, and Tyreek Hill has really emerged as a great punt/kick returner. Defensively, I think they can stop Big Ben's offense, that really strong offense with AB and Le'Veon Bell and Big Ben, but I don't know. I'm just going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs on merits on defense, because usually when the really good offense goes up against a really good defense, I usually go with the better defense, and I think Kansas City is going to do its job this week and win this game. So final score for me, I think it's going to be high scoring, in my opinion. I think Alex Smith can do enough to make it high scoring. They also got Travis Kelce as well on tight end, so he's pretty good as well. Final score for me for Kansas City Pittsburgh, I would go about Kansas City 24, Pittsburgh 21. I'm going to go with a really close game, and I think Kansas City in the end, they start off a little bit slow, but they end up going strong, in my opinion. So that's my final predictions for this matchup. I think the Dallas Cowboys beat the Green Bay Packers, and the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if I can remember, the AFC Championship game is going to be played between the Kansas City Chiefs and New England Patriots, and Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys. If the Super Bowl becomes New England Patriots versus the Dallas Cowboys, that would be the highest rated Super Bowl ever in NFL history, so that would be interesting if that happens. But we'll see then. We got to see all the teams win this week, and hopefully I am right. I was 3 for 4 last week, but the Giants messed it up for me at the end, so not too bad. I think it's a lot better than what other people did, even though the Steelers and Seahawks game were pretty easy to predict. But the Raiders and Texans, that had people thinking a little bit, but I think I did a pretty good job. So hopefully I do another good job for this week, and that's pretty much it, guys. So comment below who you think is going to win this matchup and what have you, any upsets, I guess. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, do whatever you want with this video, and I will be catching you guys up this week when I talk about the Pro Football Hall of Fame and a certain someone that should be in the Hall of Fame. So I'll leave it like that, guys, and hopefully you guys have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys!